Hi everybody, how's it going? Day 4 of our 5-day strength and nutrition challenge. I got my outdoor office back today. We've had a friend staying with us and he's been working out here in my outdoor office. So here I am, got nice bright sunlight back there. So you guys, today is a really important session that I want to bring to you. So if you guys are on, I want you to say hello. If you guys have any questions, I want you to ask right now. I'm going to talk all about nutrition today. We're going to talk about my macro balancing strategies and why I think that learning to balance your macros over counting or weighing is the best way to get you results, to get your nutrition on track without stressing, without all the chaos of nutrition, why it's like the best, simplest thing to do, especially as a runner, okay? We're going to talk about sugar cravings. I'm going to talk a whole bunch of things, and I want to answer your questions, okay? Yesterday I asked why nutrition is hard, and I got a lot of questions, so I'm going to kind of roll through some of those, and if you guys are on live, ask me anything, okay? My strategies are keep it simple, and that comes to the workouts that I do, the training plans I follow, and the nutrition. Keep it simple. If we can keep it simple, that really is all that matters, and that works like gangbusters. The hardest part is staying on track for the long term with consistency, and we're going to talk about roadblocks that happen that throw people off track with that, because once you know what to do, then the problem becomes actually doing it for the long term, because that's where you get results, okay? So today, you guys, I shared in the group my top strategies for runners nutrition. My top, these are like my runners nutrition rules, okay? And they are simple. They are basic. There's no long list of things to cut out. There's no calculators needed. There's no tracking apps. It's really simple, you guys. I used to struggle with nutrition, and people come to me all the time. The number one struggle runners have, I'm just going to stick here where the wind is blowing, that runners have when they come to me is they don't know how to eat, what to eat, when to eat. It feels hard, okay? I used to think it was hard. Sorry, there's also someone inside my house fixing something, so I can't go back in there. I used to think that I needed to count, I needed to track. I got my FitnessPal, I did the macro counting, I did the carb cycling, I did the fasting, I did all that stuff, and it made me feel crazy. It felt like nutrition was so hard, and I just couldn't live like that, and I didn't want my kids to see me behaving like that. Like, nutrition had to be easier than that, and that's when those were the days when I was really stressing and struggling, and all that stress and struggle over the nutrition just ramped up that cortisol even more, and I was sugar craving, I was energy crashing, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, head was down on my desk, I could not keep my energy up, I was skipping breakfast, my hair was falling out, I was covered in eczema, I was irritable, I was binge eating at night. It was a real problem. I was a real mess, and I felt terrible, and I couldn't keep doing that. So that's when I told you guys this story yesterday. That's when I bought the Isagenix package, thinking this was my answer. And I opened that package, I opened that box, and I was like, oh God, no, like, I'm not doing this. This is not who I am. I need to get my nutrition on check. And something like flipped in my brain. I'm like, no, you need to learn to eat properly. And I did. I learned about macros, and I learned how to eat in balance, and I started eating breakfast. That was the first thing that changed everything for me, was instead of skipping breakfast, drinking coffee, getting to work, having a muffin, or skipping a muffin and having a Diet Coke, and then hitting my workout really hard at lunch, and then crashing at my desk because I had no energy left. Like, some days, like, I was barely eating. I didn't have time. I didn't prep anything, didn't bring myself anything. I'd end up going to the Shoppers Drug Mart, which was underneath my office at the time, and I'd be buying like these big bottles of Diet Pepsi and a lot of like low-fat snacks and pretzels and like rice cakes and all that stuff. And I was just a mess, and I was training hard. So what I did what ended up happening was my metabolism was slowing down. I was burning through my muscle. I was holding weight, not losing it. I was feeling terrible. So anyways, what I did and what I teach now is how you can balance your macros, how you guys can make nutrition simple. And those are the tips that I shared with you. And this is what we talk about day in and day out inside my 6-week program, where we combine more of these strength workouts, different kinds of them, to keep your body challenged and changing and building lean muscle. But you must combine that with the macro balancing strategies. Okay? So, number 1 tip, eat everything. Everything is healthy, natural, and enjoyable. I don't label food as good and bad and clean and dirty and all that stuff. Like, food is food, and we need to get comfortable around food, but we do need to understand what will nourish our body, what will fuel our body, without like labeling it, because that labeling, if we eat something that's not on the clean list, then that leaves us with this like guilt and shame, and it plays a real mind game on us. So eat everything. One of my tips down there that I talk about a lot is 80-20. There is room for treats. You are not going to get a list of foods from me not to eat, foods to eliminate. The only foods I think that people should eliminate are the ones that you're allergic to, that you're sensitive to, that you're intolerant to, that make you feel like crap. Those are the ones that you need to avoid. In time, as you adopt my strategies, as you begin to fuel your body and balance your macros and feel better, you're going to naturally start to eat less of the junk food. Like, there is clearly, obviously, junk food and food that is healthy for you, but I'm not going to tell you not to eat it, because as soon as I tell you not to think about a white elephant, you're going to be thinking about a white elephant. It's the same thing for food. You give you a list of things you can't eat. The bigger you restrict yourself, the more you restrict, the bigger the binge is going to be on the other side. And that's why diets and detoxes generally don't work, because we just go blanket and restrict food from you that you want, because your brain's not ready to give it up yet. Okay, so you give things up in time, and I love that. But we celebrate the good food, and we celebrate the treats that we choose with intention. It's all about being intentional. But eat everything, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Have pizza. Just don't do it. Don't eat pizza all day, every day, right? Don't starve yourself. Eating too little will not only make your running feel heavy, but over time it can disrupt your metabolism and your hunger hormones. So there's like 2 types of people that tend to find me. The ones who are under eating, and your body is under eating is a stress on your body, and it still ramps up your cortisol levels. It also messes with your hunger hormones, so you don't feel hungry. Okay, there were years where I would not eat all day and not feel hungry, and then when I did feel hungry, it was like usually because I was energy crashing and I was craving carbohydrates. There was times like that, and I know that feeling really well. And then there's also the times where you're grazing food all the time. You're grazing carbohydrates all the time. Because you're not eating enough of the right macros at the right times for the right reasons, and so your body is just like needing energy because you're on this blood sugar roller coaster, and so you're always like craving foods, but you're never really nourishing yourself, because you tend to just grab those carbohydrates, those bites of foods, those bites off the kids' plates, that kind of thing. So there's the people who come to me who they're like, I'm not hungry. I don't eat that much. I train really hard, but I can't eat. I'm just not hungry. It makes me feel sick. Often that's because your body is like in starvation mode. You're not feeding it enough. It's not even getting hungry because it knows you're just going to stuff that hunger down with something else aside from nutrients. And then there's the people that are like always hungry, the runners who are always hungry, and they're just grazing a lot of carbohydrates, grazing a lot of low-fat foods, snacking on the donuts and the bites and the crackers and the salty things, and always hungry. You're a sugar burner. You're burning sugar all day long, and again, that's the blood sugar roller coaster. And we want to break that with macro balancing by eating, we'll talk about this in a minute, but eating those 3 meals per day with snacks in between. The snacks only if you're hungry, always balancing carbohydrates with fats and proteins. And that's how you stabilize your blood sugars. You get rid of those cravings. You actually truly nourish your body. You reset your metabolism. You reset your hunger hormones. You start to feel hungry again. I get hungry, okay? I wake up at 5 o'clock, 5:30. I'm not hungry right away. I usually get hungry around 7:30. So when I wake up, I have water, I have coffee. I'm not fasting, I'm just not hungry. I'm not going to eat if I'm not hungry, because I've reset my metabolism. At 7:30, boom, I start to get hungry. So I'll have breakfast if I'm not working out till later. And this changes depending on your workouts, but for me, I start to get hungry and I'm gonna work out right away, and I don't wanna go into that workout fasted, because if I go into my hard speed workout or any of my workouts fasted, in the morning especially, cortisol's high. I'm gonna push that workout, that's gonna ramp cortisol up even more. Without fuel in my body, for my body to use, I'm not able to push that workout very hard, and then I'm not getting the training gains on the other side that I want, because I want lean muscle. Lean muscle ramps up my metabolism 24/7. I want to push my workout. I want to get the most training gains from it, so I need some fuel in there. And also, if I'm not fueled, my body's going to go to my muscle for fuel, and it's going to use muscle tissue to fuel that workout. So it's like I'm not able to push the workout, and then I'm losing muscle during the workout, which I'm trying to gain muscle. I don't want that. I want to push my performance, so I need to fuel. So my schedule, if I run later in the morning, I usually run. So during the week, I work out after I drop my kids off at school. When you're in the reboot, we can work this out for you so that we can help you time. This is the trickiest thing, help you time that nutrition. I get up, like I said, 5:30. I have a glass of water with lemon. I have a coffee at 7:30, because I know I'm going to work out at 8. 7:30 is when I drive my kids to school. I make them breakfast, and I make me almond butter on whole wheat toast. If I have hemp seeds, I put hemp seeds on there. If I have a banana, I'll put a banana on there. That's my pre-workout snack. You want to make sure you're having a little bit of at least protein before your workout, no carbohydrates. I drive my kids to school, and at 8 o'clock I hit my workout. It's 30 minutes, and then as soon as I get home from that workout, I have a full breakfast. I have 2 eggs every day with 2 pieces of whole wheat toast. I usually saute spinach or kale, peppers and onions, whatever I've got around. Definitely try to get a green in there, and I put it on toast with an avocado, and I have that every day. And then so now I'm full. I have a little dog here. And then you have a snack if you're hungry. Don't eat a snack if you're not hungry. That when you reset your metabolism, you will start to get hungry. And when I get hungry, I get hungry. Like I feel like hungry. And when I used to be grazing all those carbs and skipping all those meals, I'd feel cravings. I'd feel like I wanted salty things and I wanted sweet things, and I would just eat all of the things. Like it was just a completely different feeling from feeling nourished and hungry as to when I was like undernourished and craving. And that's a feeling that it's hard to like talk about until you feel that switch, and that's when your metabolic system switches, because you're fueling it, you're building muscle, you've rebooted that metabolic system, you're balancing out your hormones, which is what you want when you want to get fit and when you want to lose weight. We want to these are metabolic systems we need to be doing. We can't be eating less and training more, because you mess up your hormones, and when your hormones are not balanced, you can't lose weight, you can't get fit, you can't feel awesome, okay? Especially for us women. So that being said, I train in the morning. I tend to get hungry in the morning, like I'm hungrier. And the other thing, when you switch that metabolic switch and you start to balance those macros and eat properly and really reboot that metabolic system, you should be able to go longer in between meals. You shouldn't be craving and hungry all the time. That being said, when you're training hard, I tend to get hungrier in the morning. Just because my workouts in the morning, my body's recovering. So I usually have breakfast at 8, and then in a couple hours, I'll be hungry again. So I'll have a piece of fruit. I almost have the same snack every day, a piece of fruit with some almond butter and hemp seeds. Super simple. Like, you can't tell me you don't have time for that. Like, my body's hungry. I just cut up a banana, or I cut up an apple, and I've got a jar of almond butter, and I just put some hemp seeds in it. Simple, done. Eat it at my desk. I can do that. My body's hungry. A couple hours later, I get hungry for lunch. I have lunch. Today I had tuna, a tuna sandwich with lettuce and whole wheat bread. Like, it's not... I have meal plans in the 6-week program. We share lots of recipe ideas. We share lots of high protein, macro balanced snacks, because that's really important. Because like I said, the macro balancing strategy is always pairing at every meal and snack a carbohydrate with a fat and a protein to balance your blood sugars. curb your cravings, keep you full longer, trigger your body to be burning fat and not storing those carbohydrates that you're eating by themselves and all those bites and low-fat snacks and all that stuff as fat, which is what happens, okay? So then I have my lunch, and then generally after lunch, like I've nourished my body solid in the morning. I tend to be able to go for 4 or 5 hours after that without getting hungry. But then I get hungry, and then I have dinner, and then I often get hungry at night. It's a little bit of a habit, I have to say, eating at night for me, but I like eating at night. Actually, a little carbohydrate will help you sleep better, help you fall asleep, help you sleep better, and a little protein, high quality protein before bed will help you build lean muscle, because at night is when your growth hormone is highest. And if you have a little protein in there, your body's able to use that to build lean muscle. We want to recover, okay? So kind of a little bit of a tangent there off of don't starve yourself, because I don't want you guys starving yourselves. I want you eating, okay? Hello, Abby's there, Holly, Sylvette, Nikki, awesome. Nikki, you're crushing the current program. And I know Holly knows what I'm talking about here. She's also, she also knows all about hormones. The next tip is JERF, just eat real food. People always ask me, what should I eat? What should I eat? And you know, real food, you guys. And someone said, well, what do you mean by real food? And by real food, I mean, you know, food that isn't in a box, that isn't processed. Remember I said there's no good and there's no bad, but there certainly are the healthier alternatives. And I take for granted sometimes the food that I do eat. So I, you know, shopping around the grocery store, fruits, vegetables, I eat meats, like real food that's not in the packages, that you cook at home with real ingredients, single food ingredients, foods that don't have ingredient lists that you have to work through because they just are food. Focus on real food. You know, again, I don't say good food and bad food, but we know what is not good, what is not going to nourish our body, right? So just focusing on as real as you can, and then thinking about balancing those macros. Again, inside the 6-week program, you get macro balanced meal plans. So they're not meant for you to follow exactly. They are meant as a guide to show you what a balanced meal looks like. They're put together by the Running Moms holistic nutritionist, and there's an omnivore, which means a meat-based recipe guide pack and meal plan. There's also a plant-based guide for those of you who are plant-based, okay? So for plant-based, for sure, it's important because you've got to be getting that protein. So many of us women do not eat enough. We do not eat enough protein, okay? We need protein, especially when you're doing workouts like this, to get fit and build muscle. And as plant-based, we need to make sure we're pairing our food right and we're getting enough protein. So Alex has put that together for you guys in the 6-week program. Alex is a plant-based runner, so she's a nutritionist, so she's put together some really killer programs. We also share a lot of photos, a lot of pictures of like what we're eating, and we really, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if like your friends are all going out for pizza, you're gonna eat pizza. You're hanging out with us online, and we're sharing and being super proud and loving our healthy, nourishing meals. Then that's what you're gonna want to eat. That's what your brain is gonna want to do. Okay. Yes, Alex is awesome, isn't she, Jamie? She's just like puts together amazing recipe guides and just is full of information to answer all your nutrition questions. And it's nice when it comes from one source that you can trust, as opposed to like all these different people. And the thing is, she's talking to us as runners. She knows the workouts we're doing. She knows the strategies that I teach. She knows that you are in my program because you want to get fit, you want to get lean, you want to get strong, you want to build lean muscle, you want to train pro, okay? Yes, Nikki, the program is awesome. I'm so glad that, that you joined last month, because it's great. Next one, don't eliminate entire food groups. Again, like I said, the only food that I recommend that you guys eliminate is the food that you're allergic to, food that you're intolerant to, and food that you're sensitive to. You want to avoid that stuff like the plague. Like, I can't eat papaya, I can't eat quinoa, and I can't eat, so papaya I'm allergic to. I break out in a crazy rash, and it's terrible when I eat papaya. It's so weird, right? I can't eat quinoa. It really upsets my stomach. I get really bloated and just really uncomfortable. It's a terrible feeling. So I'm I'm intolerant to quinoa, I'm allergic to papaya, and white pasta, white bread leaves my body feeling inflamed, and I can't run after I eat that stuff. Like if I go to a friend's house, and I figured this out because I used to go to a friend's house and she'd always make pasta, and I'd always have the pasta, and the next day I go to run, and we were in Vancouver. It's my favorite city, and I love running in Vancouver, and every morning I'd wake up to run, and I couldn't. My legs were like lead. My joints felt frozen, but like hot frozen. And I put two and two together because that happened like repeatedly, because I always wake up and run and have loads of energy. But when I was there, I was eating that pasta meal, and so I triggered it to that. So I don't eat white pasta because it makes me feel terrible. I'm not allergic, I'm not any of that. It just makes me feel terrible, and I can't run. So I don't drink it. And red wine, actually, I'm allergic to as well. It causes my whole face to swell up. So I don't drink red wine. It's super easy. So don't eliminate entire food groups. So those are the things that you're allergic to, you're sensitive to, you're intolerant to. But then I know that people are telling you guys to eliminate all carbohydrates, and that's excessive. Okay, they're telling. I lived through the no fat days. There was a decade where I didn't eat fat. It was terrible. I felt terrible. My skin was terrible. It's completely ludicrous to cut out an entire macronutrient. Your macronutrients are your fats, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. And just like your car needs gas and oil and transmission fluid, your body needs those macronutrients, fats and carbs and protein, but it needs the right ones in the right balance at the right times for the right reason. So carbohydrates, like our bodies as women need them. It's all part of the metabolic system. Like we need to be fueling with all of the macros, combining those carbohydrates, right, with fat and protein at the same time. That mix allows us to balance our blood sugars, like I said before, curb our cravings, keeps us full longer, and it triggers another hormone release called glucagon, and that helps us burn fat between our meals, which, hell yeah, that's awesome. When we know how to train to build lean muscle, to ramp up our metabolism, and we learn how to balance our plate so that we can balance our blood sugars and burn more fat, that's all really great stuff. What else can I say about that? Just wondering if you ever counted macros. I know you don't do it, but have you in the past? I have an idea of what your body's on a daily basis. So Michelle, I did count macros for 3 days, and I guess what did come from that was I was eating loads of carbohydrates. I was eating not enough calories, and I was eating almost no protein. So that's what came from me tracking, and that was only for 3 days. And I was just like, whoa, this is what happened in that point, was like, I need to fix this. And so, but I can't keep tracking because I'm not weighing my food. I'm not going to do this. It will trigger disordered eating. And like I said, I just don't want to be a slave to food like this, but it was really eye-opening to me to see how little calories I was eating, to see how little protein I was eating, and to see that mostly what I was eating was carbohydrates, because I was a grazer, right? I was grazing all the food. I was working out hard. I was barely eating, and I was grazing. I was biting things, and I was eating all like the low-fat stuff, and like it was terrible. So that's what I learned, but that's the only time I've counted. When you're training to build that lean muscle and you're learning to really tune into your hunger, starting with breakfast in the morning, snacks if you're hungry, lunch, snack if you're hungry, dinner, snack at bed if you're hungry. When you learn to do that and you learn what to eat, and you get yourself back in the kitchen and you cook some simple meals for yourself that are balanced, you don't need to count. I really don't think you do. Like, I think if you dial in these basic things, we cut out the emotional eating, right? You can't track that. Tracking doesn't help emotional eating or binge eating at night. Like, those things aren't help with that. Community helps with that. Talking about that stuff helps with that. Balancing your macros and becoming, I call it habit mastery, like mastering your daily habits will help you more than counting macros. Counting macros, to me, it puts that, it takes it external for you, and we don't have to do the work. When I can teach you guys to do the work, reboot your metabolic system. The other thing about counting calories or counting macros is, the other thing I don't like about it is that They don't tell you like what kind of macros or how to eat in balance. Like if you're not eating in balance and you're just eating muffins for breakfast, but it fits your macros, it's still going to throw your blood sugars off. So you're not going to get the effect, as good of effect as if you learn to eat a proper breakfast to balance your blood sugars. That's the number one thing, is learning to balance your blood sugars. Counting macros doesn't help. So you eat your breakfast, you balance your blood sugars, you cut your sugar cravings, you tune into your emotions, you tune into your hunger. If you're hungry again, you eat, but you make sure your snack is balanced. That's key. Okay, that's key. Your snack is balanced. Then you wait a few hours, you get hungry again. Most of us are just eating all the time. We never let ourselves get hungry, and we've trained so hard, or we've just like hit so many diets and we've restricted our calories so much that we don't even feel hungry. Our metabolism is in our boots. That's why my program is called the Metabolic Reboot for Runners, because I want to help you guys build lean muscle, reboot your metabolic system. We're going to reboot your training. We're going to reboot your nutrition. We're going to reboot your mindset. We're going to reboot your metabolism and your body. Okay? I'm not sure, Jimmy, what that means, but I'm glad you found us. And these are like mindsets that we need to like get rid of, that we need to work on, because they've been told to us for so long. I didn't eat fat for a decade, you guys. I don't even know how I survived university. We eat dry toast for breakfast, drink Diet Pepsi all day. Like, how did I survive? I don't even know. I'm just lucky because I was young. Then the no carb thing came up, and I thought I should cut carbohydrates, so I'm going low carb, and I'm like all this crap until I learned to balance my macros and train strong, because I was always running through this stuff, like pushing my body. My body was breaking down, and so I was left sugar craving, energy crashing hard, covered in eczema, moody, irritable, hair falling out, all the classic signs of hormonal dysfunction. Okay. Alex has a list of supplements that we can give you in the 6-week reboot, but we really get you focused on eating. Supplements are something that's going to mask the core root of what we need to work on, and we need to work on eating. Supplements are I have this pyramid of what it takes to get fit. On the bottom of that pyramid is macro balanced nutrition, strength training, hormone balance, cardio, long running, supplements. Okay, supplements are the last question that we need to be asking. We need to be focused on nourishing our body and balancing our macros as our number one priority when we want to build a fit, lean, strong, healthy, confident, awesome body that feels amazing. We gotta fuel ourselves, okay? What else can I say? Right, that kind of so it was eat everything, don't starve yourself, just eat real food 80% of the time. Don't eliminate entire food groups, only cut out the foods that you're allergic, intolerant, or sensitive to, and then balance your macros in every meal and snack, okay? And then the biggest thing when it comes to nutrition, you guys, is the mindset around nutrition. We have to switch the dialogue in our head from restricting and counting and looking at diets and thinking we need to track and weigh and do all this stuff to nourishing. Today I'm going to nourish my body. My body deserves to be nourished. Okay? When you can begin to make that mindset shift, you will naturally start to make healthier choices. Okay? That is what we work on in my program. Okay, we're gonna help you understand macros. We're gonna give you loads of examples. I'm gonna give you access to Alex to ask her anything, any day of the week that you want. We are there every single day answering questions, and we're gonna help you hit those macros. Okay, we're gonna help you learn to emotionally control your eating. We're gonna learn to help you tune back into your hunger and your body, and to want to nourish it. I'm gonna help rewire your brain so that healthy eating becomes the norm. Okay, you're gonna end up like, we need to switch again, even the dialogue in our head of I don't have time to cook, and I don't like cooking, and I can't cook, and all of these things, to cooking is super important, and I'm gonna love getting in that damn kitchen because I gotta fuel my body, and I feel so much better when I make that time and I do that. I can feed my family better. I'm a better role model. I'm like, my kids are gonna see me doing this. This is all really important stuff, and this is our job as parents. Like, when I had kids, my first 3 years were very, very, very difficult for me. I missed the cooking lessons. When I was going through university, I didn't cook anything. I didn't even like cooking, never wanted to cook. I was a career-driven woman. Now I had these 2 babies, and I missed my run group, and I missed my long training runs, and I couldn't do any of that. And I was really quite miserable. And I got a coach, not a run coach, because I knew how to run. I got a life coach to help me. The first thing that we did was create a vision for my life, who I wanted to be in this new life after kids. Like, I was not, like, life was gonna change, and I had all these new roles I didn't know how to handle. And I created a vision for the person that I wanted to be, the person I wanted to become, what my core values were going to be as a mom, as a woman in this motherhood space that I had no idea about. And one of my core values was I want to cook for my children, for my family. That's very important to me. And I hate the kitchen right now, and I'm not doing a very good job of this, and I'm not nourishing myself, and I'm a real mess. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that, and I did not want to continue on that route for one more second. So I wrote my vision down. And if you guys are following me, like, grab a journal and write out a vision of what you want for your health and your life, and for in like how you want to feed your kids and how you want to be remembered by your kids. And for me, I want them to remember me, and I want them to remember me cooking lots of really good food. Not even good, just healthy. Because, I always bug them. I'm like, you guys, I gotta fuel you up. You got races, and you can't build muscle if you're not eating your protein. And like, my kids know macros. They know me in the kitchen. They know we eat all of our meals at home. Not all of them, that's completely not true. We eat out quite a bit. But again, we make sure we make healthy choices. But it's important to me. And so I shifted my mindset from I hate cooking, I don't have time to cook, to this is a priority for me because I need to feed them and I need to feed me. The way I felt when I was undernourishing myself and overtraining and listening to all the garbage out there telling me to cut fats and cut carbs and all this stuff, it wasn't working. It was feeling miserable, and I had zero time to feel miserable. I had zero time to have no energy. I needed all the energy possible. And I wanted my body back. I'm not gonna lie. I hated how my body felt after babies. I hated feeling tired. I hated my runs feeling heavy. I hated the fact that I'd lost all my muscle. I hated it. I hated my droopy body. And I took back that control and worked on those parts of me by nourishing my body and training smarter. That's how I love my body. That's how I got back to loving myself and my new role, is because I decided to take care of myself, okay? Not beat myself up and not diet and restrict myself any longer, but I decided to nourish myself, and I started really prioritizing and being very intentional about that. If I wanted to love this body and feel good and strong and confident in this body again, I needed to treat it properly. And I know as runners, we're put on this pedestal for health, and we are not. We are struggling on so many levels as female runners, and we run and we run and we run, but the rest of the stuff is just a mess. That is why I created my program. It's called the Metabolic Reboot. 6 weeks of loving yourself, proper strength training, proper nutrition, proper coaching, proper support to help you stay on track and shift these old beliefs, shift these old thoughts, shift this old dieting mentality, get rid of all the noise on social media and get you really focused with with a group of like-minded women who want to get fit and strong and healthy and back into bodies that feel and look amazing, okay? Look amazing is a matter of perspective. What you see in that mirror is a reflection of the thoughts you think in your head, and my body doesn't change. I've been the same for a very long time, and I didn't have a drastic amount of weight when I started taking care of myself to lose, but when I looked in the mirror back then, I hated what I saw. And that was just a perspective thing, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I started taking care of myself, and I started looking in the mirror, and I started loving what I saw. And it wasn't even a matter of like how much my body changed. The difference was my mindset and what I was doing to take care of myself. And that's the shifts that I want to help you guys with. It's more than just exercise. It's more than just running a marathon. It's about like choosing to take care of yourself and get support and prioritize your own health, because it doesn't have to be your kids and your family and your career or your health. You can do all of that when you understand how to do it, when you work on your mind as much as you work on your running, okay? More running and less food is not the answer, all right? If you guys want to join the group, we start on Monday with prep week. We're gonna take care, I'm gonna be there to help you. You're gonna take care of yourself. You're gonna train strong, you're gonna eat right, and you're gonna get super freaking fit with me, okay? You're gonna love how you feel and what you see when you look in the mirror when you are done that program. It is not gonna be super easy. Staying on track is super hard, but it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about getting started. It's about pushing aside the fears. It's about just going all in, because you have a vision, right? You have a vision of the life and the body and the family and who you want to be and how you want to feel, okay? I'll put the link below if you guys want to join. We have one more day of this challenge together. Tomorrow we're going to talk recovery and inflammation, and why recovery is super, super important to help you get results, what we can do for recovery, and how that why that impacts cortisol, and how we can reduce the inflammation so that your body feels awesome, okay? So thank you for tuning into this. I love these videos. I love talking to you guys. I love teaching you guys. I love supporting you guys. I love all your check-ins, and I just love helping you take care of you, because I know that you are taking care of everybody else, and it can feel lonely out there, and it can feel confusing. It doesn't have to, okay? You don't have to be lonely and confused. I'm here for you. I used to be lonely and confused, and now I'm not. And now I have this tribe of amazing women who are all going for the same feeling in life. We have the same vision. We have the same wants and desires of being healthy, happy role models for our families, because that begins with us. And we got to take care of ourselves if we're going to pass that on to our kids, okay? So this is more than just running. But I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have an awesome afternoon. If you haven't got your workout in yet, get it in. Start thinking about balancing those macros. And I will see you tomorrow for our final workout together and our final day of this challenge tomorrow. Take care.